We all doing? I got something a little different today. So I went to visit my dad's house where I grew up. And I had my two kids with me because one of them had never seen the house. We just happened to be driving by. We knew he wasn't there, but I just thought they'd get a kick out of seeing where I grew up. So I went in, showing them around the house. And in my old bedroom, which was actually a hallway, which is kind of a long story, there was a basket. And as a kid, it wasn't like a trash can basket. It was like I don't know, a decorative basket of some kind. And as a kid, I would just toss little bits of toys that I found. I didn't really know where to put them, or just didn't care about them at that moment. I tossed them in this basket, and over time, I would take stuff out and put it back where it belonged. But for some reason, that basket was still there. So I picked it up and I looked at it and I'm like, holy crap, these are accessories from when I was a kid. And a lot of my toys when I was a kid were hand-me-downs from my older brother. Some of this stuff is like maybe late 70s, early 80s. I'm not sure. I haven't actually gone through it. So with the magic of Google Lens and our starting value of having paid nothing for this because my parents bought it all because we were children, we're going to see how much value was in basically a toy garbage can in my old childhood bedroom. So we have one muscle man. I had all of these as a kid, which were a hand-me-down from my brother. But this is the only one in that basket. So muscle men were obviously from D battery for scale, but also because he won't stand up on his own. They were just a cool 80s toy. There were tons and tons and tons of them. I conservatively had 50 of them, I would guess. Dirt cheap. This was the original style of them, and then they started coming in different colors later on. And it was the same figures, they just had different colors. And they're notoriously tough to get to stand because they're so cheap. If you look at the feet, they have these ridges on them, and some of them would have them and some wouldn't. They broke them out of a mold, and it just won't stand because the ridges are there. I guess you could file them down if you wanted. I'm just selling them like this though. So, according to the internet, his name is Benjamin, whatever that means. So here's one. This also says Benjamin. Is that a urinal or something? He has a drill head, but this kind of looks like a urinal or a hearth. This guy has a different head. And then there's a green version. This guy's a little more artistic and $200 for some reason. Yeah, I have no idea. They're all pretty odd. I remember this one, this wall guy, just way over the top pro wrestlers. So an individual one, they don't sell that well, honestly. But I'm going to undercut this guy and I'm going to sell it for 8. And I can be pretty aggressive with this stuff being as I didn't actually pay for it. We'll see if we can get 8 out of him. These are from my absolute favorite non-hand-me-down toy. So my hand-me-downs were Legos and G.I. Joe. And those were my favorite, but what I really liked were Battle Beasts. And they were an 80s toy. There was a whole bunch of them. I think it was probably 87, 89, somewhere in there they started coming out. And it was animals that were humanoids, and they had weapons, and the whole gimmick is they had an emblem on their chest that if you put your thumb on it for a second and then let go, it would reveal their element. The 3 elements of Battle Beasts were water, fire, and wood. I don't know why. Wood was an element. And water beat fire, fire beat wood, but wood defeated water. I don't know if it was beaver dams or what the thought process was. So then they had vehicles, like giant vehicles. Water had a shark, fire had a phoenix, and wood had a wood beetle. And these come from the wood beetle. So this is like a side gun, and there was one on either side. This is the left side. And then this is a turret gun that went on top of its head. And you want to see vintage toy prices. The wood beetle, missing basically everything, for $130. Some of the parts are listed for $30. You get a guy with some pieces almost complete, actually, but it says it's for repair, so I don't know what's actually wrong with it. So yeah, everybody is selling what they got, selling pieces, and people will buy pieces to assemble the actual wood beetle if they can. So, looking at pricing, we've got this gun. This is going for $46. This one's 27, 26, 31, and that's what we got. So this is what we're dealing with for parts, and just the individual beasts themselves are $15 each with no weapons. I had literally every single one of these. I think there were 50 of them, or thereabouts, 46, 50 of them. I had them all. It was the only thing I wanted as a kid. Where they went, I don't know. Where the vehicles went, I don't remember. But, yeah. If I had them, that would be pretty cool. So, that guy sold an old one for like $40. I wonder what's up with that. You know, just little bits of it going for $15, $20. Oh, there's the Phoenix. That's cool. $217. Oh, I remember these little chariots too. I had these. They were pullback cars. And you just fit like one beast in them. And these bases all folded out. Like the wings came out on the sides. I forget exactly how this one went. The Phoenix, I think, was my favorite. It just looked cool. The shark was good. So the head with the turret for presumably $60. This guy basically complete for $120. This guy complete with 4 guys for $260. But the parts are going. So like 20. So if you recall, the lowest was 26. This sold for 20. So I think that'll be our price. Now this gun, this one sold for under 35, and there are no others for sale. So I'm gonna do 30 on the gun and 20 on, well, 30 on the turret and 20 on this guy. And it's a matter of who is actually looking for this stuff. I mean, obviously, there's collectors out there looking to put theirs together, but there's slim pickings. It's an old toy that had a lot of detachable parts because you fold it out to a base. So like this, I think this came off the head and you can mount it on top of a wall, and these you can take off and put them somewhere so like the battle beast could use them as a turret. So anytime you transform this thing, you lost a part, basically. That's why these are going for a premium. But that's going to be... Oops. I think we'll be about there after shipping and fees. Not bad. This one was definitely a hand-me-down. This is a Robotech Blockman. Robotech was a show in the early 80s that my older brother liked. And it was out at a time I didn't get it. I was too young to understand there was actually a plot. It was kind of like, I don't know if you'd consider it anime, but it was definitely, it was Japanese in nature, kind of sci-fi. It wasn't over the top anime like today. The Block Man. And I remember playing with them because, like, basically this head is a peg and it goes into the feet. So you can, like, stack them up and make, like, a goofy sword, or you have, like, a hole in the belly. You can put a head in the belly, in the shoulder, in the back, and then there's another peg, which would go to here. So you can just assemble stuff with them. I don't know if they had a function on the show or what they did. But here they are, Blockman. And they're out there. 92 Blockmen for sale in sets and individual. I don't know if some colors are rare or not. So we got, ours is this one, the red and white. And the prices are all over the place. We're just going to have to look at the sold listings on these. And some of the chests are different. I don't know if this matters. I don't actually know what their function was. Some of these are like armed. And Robotech, like the gig was they had basically mechs and they transformed, and they had like motorcycles, I think, that turned into like power armor. Like, you know, prior to Fallout. That was pretty cool stuff. That was about like fighting some. I think the aliens had purple skin and were like exceptionally tall. That's all I remember about it. Also, they had some flagship that like crashed in the ocean and then was like playing possum, and it came back like 2 years later to strike a mortal blow on a bad guy. But anywho, here they are. Oh, okay, so yeah, you can add like little things to them. I don't know. We'll see what they go for. Can't reminisce on them because the only thing I ever did with it is turned it into a big sword and swung it, and it would fall apart. Alright, so we got like $9 for one. 9-ish. 9. And they're going. I mean, people are buying these things. So we'll do 8. We'll do 8. We'll presumably sell. Alright, what else we got? No, this is not a zombie bursting from the grave. This is original G.I. Joe Iceberg from early to mid-80s. Obviously, I don't have all of them, but with vintage G.I. Joes, it actually doesn't matter. There's a huge parts community. What I do have is I have a head, I have a torso, and I have 2 intact thumbs. This is important because I believe he was a sniper and had a bulky gun, and that would be more apt to break the thumbs. Like, because you move the longer gun around playing and put pressure on that thumb, and eventually it'd snap off. So 2 good thumbs is actually going to be worth something. Let's take a look what we got going on. So, vintage G.I. Joe, $350 sealed. Ludicrous. And people sell every part. They'll sell the backing. They'll sell torsos, obviously. So let's look at something close to mine. We got a torso and legs, but no crotch. Well, it's technically your pelvis. It's not your crotch, but whatever. Oh, he only wants $8 for it. Okay. Thought this would go for at least 10, I was guessing. Just because of the 2 good thumbs. Does he have thumbs? Yeah, he's got thumbs. Okay. So I'm going to have to be at 8 to beat that guy, basically. Guess we had like a snowboard, some knives. Oh, this is version 2. It isn't the same guy from the 90s. Okay. But to say that's weird, I thought he had a... Why would a sniper have a bunch of knives? That seems kind of weird. We got a totally busted one from 88. So 800 icebergs out there. Let me try parts. 200 parts. So we got some torsos. So I think this is going to end up being $8. I mean, you can get the whole figure for like 14. You can get a pelvis for $9. That's a bargain. So not a home run, but let's see, 6 parts for him. He takes up very little space, though. So we're going to do $8. They'll move eventually. You know, they're not making any more of them. It's the 86. And people do like cool mishmash things. You can take the torso apart with that screw in the back and get the arms off, and you can do different setups with guys. I think some of the collectors do mod stuff like that. Whatever, $8 out the door. Battle Beasts were my #1 toy as a kid for toys that I had. M.A.S.K was my #2. M.A.S.K, if you heard the theme song. So you had like little guys, about probably yay big, all like 4 inches. They had helmets, and that was their gig, is all the helmets had superpowers. And then they had these transforming vehicles. The vehicles were where it was at. I had quite a few of those. This toy series is insanely collectible because, and I've never experienced this myself, but in the toy community, the masks that the guys wore were made out of some kind of material, like a petroleum-based like rubber, and if they weren't stored correctly, the masks themselves crumbled. So you could get new in the box toys, and you'd open them up and touch them, and the value disintegrates literally in front of you. So take a look at this kind of stuff. So vehicles in the box, $500. These are actually shockingly cheap. They must have like no attachments or they're broken. Got like 30s, 40s. And here is the backpack of one Miles Mayhem. So this is his jetpack, and all their stuff transforms, I guess, to a degree. So it's a regular pack, and then you hit the switch, and it's a jetpack. Straps are a bit loose, but they still work. Like this one actually has a mask. That's pretty cool. So Miles, some people are selling Miles without his stuff. I don't remember. I was really more into the toys than the show. So let's see if we can see him without the pack. We can see him with the pack. Person doesn't understand how shipping works. Charging $1.16. You are not going to get that into an envelope, good sir. So people selling it without the pack, so I'm kind of feeling like I could get something for the pack. Probably only 8. So we got 860 listings for the jetpack here. Of course, we're gonna get Venom, as the guy's name was Venom, I believe. Still in box for 100. Oh, I had this car. This was cool. The wings folded underneath, and you hit a button and they flipped out like switchblades. That was a good one. And then a semi-truck, too, I believe. Yeah, see, the missiles. $20 for a missile. $24 for a missile. Big money in that kind of stuff. I had this this Apocalypse. Where all this stuff went, I don't know. It kills me. Did I give it away? Did I throw it away? It's definitely not still at home. So I'm not seeing the pack itself for sale. However, if the complete figure sells for, you know, $15, I really can't charge that much for the pack. So I'm gonna do my standard 8 on the pack. And I don't know if it's gonna move. I don't know if people are really looking to complete that guy. I think the M.A.S.K is probably worth more. And then you're taking a chance on getting one that crumbles on you. But, or that could be an urban legend. I don't know. I haven't run into any to really put any truth to that. Alright, let's move on here. Alright, so if my favorite toys were Battle Beast, and my second favorite toys were M.A.S.K, my third favorite toys were probably Centurions. So, following in the really popular gimmick of elements and stuff, there were 3 of them. There was a water guy who was green, an air guy who was blue, and a land guy who was like orange. And they had these suits with pegs on them, and you could slot different stuff into the pegs. They had like 9 on the chest, 9 on the back, like maybe 4 per outer leg, shoulders, and then you had stuff like this that you could attach to them. So this was a thruster for the air guy, and then some kind of a gun. If we can figure out what this stuff is. So Centurions. So this was the land guy, and they had like different, you can't even say vehicles because the vehicles were really part of them. So like the land guy, he had this rocket launcher thing, and then he had, I think the one I had was, actually it was this one. It was like a, almost like a unicycle that you strapped him into. And the sky guy had like his get up here, which is where the thruster is, oddly enough. It had like different missile configurations. I think he had one backpack that had a button that would spin a turbine on the back. And then the water guy had this setup, and I remember he had like a comically large spiked like mine, basically a sea mine, but it was bigger than like any character. It made no sense. So I don't know how many vehicle setups they had for everybody. Like this is this guy in the middle here is one of the villains, and the villains for whatever reason could be ripped in half, and you could stick like half to the other villain. Like, so one of them I think was red, and his half was like the left half. Like he was the left half, and the right half was robot. This guy's got the green guy with the land gear over here. That ain't cool. Oh, I think this one here that has somebody wrote Al on it with a Sharpie above the picture here was the one with a crazy depth charge. I had most of this stuff. I don't think I had all of it. Alright, that gun's very similar to my red one, but it's not. Yeah, I had this C thing, this red thing here on the left. Wow, the helmets are going for $25. That's pretty wild. Some missiles. You know what? I didn't even realize this. I got the bag of parts right next to me, and what did we just find? There's that missile. An Ace McCloud. It says it's a gun, but it's totally a missile. I mean, it has fins on it. It's a missile. It's a missile. Well, whatever, they want $20 for it. why don't we put in parts? We'll see get an idea what this stuff's going for. And the figures don't seem to be as expensive as some of the others. But I also don't know how prevalent this stuff is. So 250 listings for parts. But there's a lot of parts. A lot of parts. Let's see if we can find our stuff here. So one of the missiles I have with 2 red missiles we got. I'm curious if I got more. No, I think that's it. 25. I don't want to sell all of this stuff as one because it's all from different sets, I believe. That missile's not part of the original loadout, I don't think. Missiles always go for big bucks because everybody loses them. Got this thruster. Still haven't seen the oh, there it is. The red one is the one in the center of his chest. $125 for that guy. Complete. Oh, incomplete even. All right, let's just skip to sold. See if we can catch any of this stuff individually. I could do all 3 parts. Save a bit of hassle here. I don't know who would buy them necessarily because they're not all to the same piece. Yeah, people get good money for stuff. It doesn't look like mixed lots are really even being sold. I'm not really seeing individual pieces either. There's 2 pieces for 20 bucks. I'm thinking I will list these individually for 10 bucks each. If you're just missing the one, if you're missing parts, it's going to be hard to find a lot that has everything you need. You're going to end up overpaying. Like if you needed half of this here, 35 bucks. So I think if I do them all individually for 10 bucks, that's the way to go. Alright, we're not done yet. Let's see. I don't know if I'll do all this in one video. We'll do one more. I want to try to keep these under 30 minutes if I can. So we'll do one more. Finally, we got another G.I. Joe. I don't remember a lot of details about this. I know this was a G.I. Joe I bought. So it was later, probably late 80s. And I remember my brother making fun of it because conceptually it's a missile launcher attached to a helmet. So somebody is moving around, 60 pounds of hardware with their neck. And their neck is also the going to absorb the blowback of a rocket. So it seemed like a good way to get a G.I. Joe pension. Crippling disability firing a rocket. But let's see if we can figure out who this belongs to. I'm not trying to G.I. Joe shame here, but this was a 1993. So I was older than I thought. I was a 10, 11, buying my own G.I. Joes, and I picked this one out. But I have to read this because it makes no sense. M.A.S.K is an undercover operative. Because when you're undercover, the best thing to do is have a missile launcher strapped to your head. But don't worry, because it is a missile-firing stealth gun with a built-in silencer. So you won't hear the missile shoot from his side of his head. Presumably you won't hear it explode either. It's a missile. How do you silence a missile? So yeah, by the 90s, I guess they were just, well, they got me to buy it. Whatever. Dumb kids out here buying dumb Joes. So anyways, $16 without anything. He's got a lot of missiles, a lot of guns. So $35 with all kinds of gear. How many of these are for sale? 101. Okay. So we got the missile launcher here for $6. So I'm looking probably the helmet and the missile launcher will be $8, if they even move. You can sell anything, any part of this. People will want to get it together. Be a fun hobby. If by the time I retire, I'm probably not going to have the finger dexterity to do anything with this. I turn enough screwdrivers as it is. Alright, so a helmet sold for $9. Another helmet for $9. Another helmet. Missile launcher. So missile launcher and helmet, I'll do $9. You get both. So $69 in profit, and we went a little over halfway through the bag. Granted, most of that profit was from the Battle Beast stuff, and I don't see any other Battle Beast things in the bag. So, depending on how this video goes, I will either finish the bag out on another video, or I'll just do it offline. Try to figure out what people like as far as content goes. So far, Thomas the Train's done very well. Weirdly, the Rodney Dangerfield board game video was extremely popular. Couldn't tell you why. I'm just trying to figure out and surf the algorithm here. So if you like this kind of reseller vintage toy content, throw a like and subscribe out there. Comment on what you want to see. I buy a lot of stuff. I hunt for all kinds of things. You never know what's going to turn up. But I want to create videos that people actually enjoy, obviously. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.